Voy a la playa, había subido la marea.
I fucking hate mobile games. I wish the mobile industry would go to fuck.
Well, guess what? They're destroying Diablo again. For money.
Your opinion does not matter to this company.
Diablo 2 fans don't want it, and Diablo 3 fans don't want it. Nobody wants this shit, okay?
And then a sense of just utter disappointment.
People would be excited for it. Like anything. A mobile Diablo?
Come on, dude, don't cry. Alright, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard about the massive shit show surrounding the announcement of the new mobile game Diablo Immortal. Blizzard, in their infinite wisdom, decided to announce this mobile game at a conference jam-packed to the rafters with PC gamers who have little to no interest in mobile gaming. Partially because there is no point to having a mobile game when you're stationary on your computer all goddamn day. The Diablo franchise has always been a very deep and rich game series. And those two things are something that mobile games nearly never are. There's a notion, because of this perceived lack of potential, that Blizzard are wasting time and resources that could better be devoted to Diablo 4 on a blatant cash shop money grab mobile game. Announcing such an underwhelming title with such an overly dramatic Blizzard cinematic in front of so many PC gamers likely felt almost like a personal attack to many of them, as if the franchise they loved and adored had stopped liking them back. Panic set in. Tables were flipped. Things were said that couldn't be taken back, and games journalists began misguidedly shrieking about entitled gamers again. I'm gonna be a little bit blunt here, but the notion that Activision Blizzard have limited resources to such a degree that they can't be working on a dozen titles with little to no overlap or loss of productivity is insane. Blizzard have been printing money for 2 decades now, and that is not even close to stopping, so don't worry about that. I don't believe for a second that the development of Diablo 4 is being impeded in any way by this knockoff Chinese mobile game. However, this PR disaster is definitely a slap in the face that Blizzard will remember. I don't think that it's hyperbolic to be calling this a disaster either. It seems like the only people who aren't pissed off are the people who are laughing at the whole thing and games journalists. Despite the fact that their anti-consumer sentiment is at an all-time high, and more often than not, I despise games journalists, I do agree with them that a lot of people are overreacting. I don't agree with the entitlement narrative, but I can make a whole other video on that awful rhetoric. So, go ahead and stomp your feet a bit. Have a good tantrum. But after that, we've all got to fall back on the reality of how absolutely absurd this situation is. Last night, games news sites began circulating a story that Diablo 4 was originally supposed to be announced at BlizzCon, but they retracted it shortly before the event, despite the fact that they publicly stated beforehand they had no intention of announcing Diablo 4 at BlizzCon. Fast forward a couple hours, and a representative of Blizzard issues a statement saying that they had absolutely no intention of announcing Diablo 4, and this news story was bogus despite the fact that they are indeed working on multiple Diablo titles. So the entire time I'm reading these statements, and I've got this voice in the back of my head screaming, why does everyone care so much about this game being announced when everybody already knows it's coming. It's like they're baking a really delicious pie, and everyone's crowding around the oven, staring at them, waiting for them to finally announce that they are baking the pie. But you can see the pie in the oven. Everyone knows that there is a pie in the goddamn oven, and yet they all continue to stare at the chef, waiting for him to announce that the pie is cooking, as if that's gonna make it go any faster or taste any better. This whole situation is ridiculous. I am a longtime fan of the Diablo franchise, but I'm gonna be cold-heartedly honest when I say that you guys don't even know how good you have it. So what if this Diablo mobile game is a slightly reworked reskin of a pre-existing Chinese Diablo lookalike hack-and-slash game they already made? You guys don't know how bad it can be. The most excited I've been about a game in a decade was when I heard that there was going to be a new Dungeon Keeper. But then it was revealed that Dungeon Keeper Mobile was one of the worst and most paywalled mobile games ever made. I would never wish what happened to Dungeon Keeper on any other franchise, and Diablo fans are getting off so goddamn easy. Seriously, EA ground that franchise into the dust, and it is pathetic. I'd go so far as to say that Diablo Immortal looks kind of fun at least, despite being a dumbed-down representation of the time-honored formula. Does that excuse the likely shit monetization the game will likely get? Not really. Does this mean that Diablo 4 is getting delayed? Probably not. Is this going to damage the Diablo brand? Hell no. Are you still gonna buy whatever Blizzard has to offer? Abso-goddamn-lutely. Blizzard designs some of the most accessible and profitable games in the industry, and has been shitting gold for over 2 decades now. Today, the outrage machine churns doggedly for Blizzard. But by the end of the week, its unceasing engines will have found a new target. Drink deep and savor the joint cause and camaraderie of your hatred of Blizzard today, friends. For tomorrow, everyone else will have already downloaded the game and gotten over it. Toilets across the world will be blessed with the eternal struggle of man versus demon, good versus evil, and microtransactions versus wallets. This is how the story always ends. Not a bad ration, but also not one of the best either. Well, anyway, this is Stalltt 1989. I hope you liked the video, and I'll be coming back at you with something new. Or old. Alright. Cool. See ya.